Hey, this is Jason Hennessy with EverSpark Interactive. This is in response to a question asked by Amy Voss on Twitter in response to a video that we posted which explained our thoughts about the Google Penguin refresh that had just come out. So the question is, she said, "Sweet rundown. I'm interested in hearing your definition of a bad link. For example, exact match anchor text. What are some of the other things that we would, I guess, deem as a bad link?" She goes on to say, because it's not always the site's fault, would hate to see a site get penalized as a result of that. All right, so that's a good question, and I'm going to answer it. I'm going to show you a couple examples of bad links, and then I'm also going to show you an example of a site that's actually ranking for a very competitive term that actually has a pure or a clean link profile with Google. All right, so first I found a random directory, and this right here, this is a listing on a directory, and it looks like they had engaged in some black hat strategies in an attempt to try to rank for the term get cheap web host, as well as probably a lot of the other semantically related terms like cheap web hosting, get cheap web hosting, things like that, best cheap web hosting. So I'm going to now just reverse engineer their site just to kind of see if it looks like this site might have got hit by the Penguin update. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to see what does the site look like. Okay, so the site has no page rank, right? So that is the first sign that there is probably a good chance that this site had been penalized from Google at one point, is the page rank. Okay, so then what I do is I use Ahrefs. This is a third-party link analysis tool. This is the paid version of this tool, but you can also use the free version with very limited data. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to look at here after I put their URL in is I'm going to look at two things. I'm going to look at the anchor texts that are being used when linking back to their website. Does it look manipulative or does it look natural? And so quickly looking at this, I can see that the number one term that is being linked back to their website is get cheapest shared hosting, with a total of 11% of their total root domains linking back to their website. Again, all say get cheapest shared hosting. So that's the first sign. This looks unnatural, right? This looks very unnatural to Google, and it looks very manipulative, because it looks like you are trying to rank for these terms, and you're going out and engaging in black hat strategies in an attempt to build as many links as possible for these terms, because that was a strategy that had worked prior to Penguin. When realistically, your backlink profile should have more of your branded type phrases and terms at the top here. So if this one had 11%, or if it just said the name of the company, which it looks like who a host, maybe if just the name of the company was at the top with 23%, that would look more natural. So right away, this looks like a unnatural link profile. Okay, so now I'm going to dig a little bit deeper. So the next thing that I do is I click on referring domains, and then I sort it by domain rank, which is their version of how they kind of score the quality of different websites. And so when I start to look at their backlinks, I see that they also have some other strategies that were used that also look very black hat-ish. And so I'm going to share with you my definition of what bad backlinks look like. The first one is Digital Point, which is a very reputable website. And when I look at their profile here on Digital Point, you can see that they've built out a profile. They basically included their homepage here. It just says get bookmarked. I guess that might be one of their other websites that they own. But on their signature, it just says cheap shared hosting. That's just floating out there. It's an exact match anchor text, and when you click on it, it takes you to their website, right? So that right there looks manipulative, and that was, again, a strategy that used to work prior to Penguin, and I would imagine that they actually at one point ranked for cheap shared hosting as a result of this strategy. So that is an example of a, we call those a form profile links. Okay, so the next example here is looking at, all right, looks like timpeter.com. All right, when I go to their website, this looks like somebody's blog. They had written an article about comparing hosted services. And so what this company did was they actually left a comment that looked relevant to the post, but under their name here, they include the word best shared hosting. And again, when you click on that, it takes you to this website. So that is an exact match anchor text link pointing back. And this is called comment link building or comment spam link building. And again, so that would also be a definition of a bad link that was one that got flagged by the Penguin update. All right, moving on the list here, we see qualityarticles.com. All right, so this looks like it was a article bank or an article directory where you can kind of log in and post articles as authors. And a lot of people started to engage in this activity, and look, this was dated back to 2011. Again, when these strategies used to work, and you would write a piece of content that was relevant to the subject matter that you were trying to rank for, and then you would drop a anchor text in there, an anchor text backlink. So in this case, he popped in cheap website hosting and cheap web host. And again, if you click on one of these two, it would go back to that website. And so that is an exact match anchor text article directory link. And the same goes for, I guess, blog post. That was another thing that got hit. So those are examples of bad links that could have gotten the site penalized. And then the one that I found it, of course, is just the directory sites that, you see that there's just a floating link in the middle of a list of sites that, also look like, sites that where they were engaging black hat strategies. So here's just a directory link that links back to it. All right, so those are all bad links, but I wanted to talk about what good link building looks like and what natural link profiles look like and the sites that will forever survive any type of update that Google will throw at us because it's just natural. So one of the most competitive terms on the internet is car insurance, and you've got some of the biggest budgets, insurance companies that spend billions of dollars, billions with a B, in order to gain market share. And so the #1 website that ranks for car insurance is Allstate. All right, so Allstate is a PageRank 7. So it's not flagged. It doesn't have a PageRank 0. So it's a good sign. Again, when I use Ahrefs and I pop Allstate in there, I can see their link graph here. But as the example I used earlier, I'm going to click on anchor text and referring domains. So we'll start off with anchor text. And here, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is what a natural link profile looks like. Their #1 term or anchor text that is used to link back to them is not car insurance. It's Allstate. And then the second one is www.allstate.com, the domain. The third one is no text, so those are probably images that are linking back to their website. Allstate claims, Allstate insurance, right? HTTP, right? So this right here looks like a natural link profile, and as a result, Google sees that this site is relevant to insurance, and therefore that's why they rank #1 for car insurance. One other thing I wanted to kind of display too, though, is when I click on referring domains and then I sort it by domain rank or domain value, so you can see here they have links that are coming in from some very reputable websites, and some of these links are even no-follow. So the no-follow links, although they don't pass PageRank, they do pass trust value back to the website, and that's things that Google takes into consideration when top-ranking websites. It basically legitimizes a business. So the fact that they have a link coming back from Apple, which is right here, so that this is their, looks like their mobile app, and when you click on this, it takes you to Allstate, right? So that is a very strong link. Even though it's not passing PageRank, it's passing trust value. Same thing goes for Wikipedia. It looks like they're mentioned in multiple Wikipedia pages. And so again, that's another site that is a very trusted website, and because they have a link in an all-state page, that's one of the reasons that Google would look at this and say, okay, this is a trusted website, so therefore we should rank it at the top of Google when people do a search for car insurance. So you can see right there the difference between, let's just call it unnatural links or unnatural link building, and then you can see what a natural link profile looks like. So I hope this answered your question, and if you have any other questions, or if you're watching this video and you have SEO questions at all, please be sure to reach out to us. Again, this is Jason Hennessy from EverSpark Interactive.